How would you feel about dating someone who is in an open relationship? I wouldn't be interested since I'm monogamous and like being in an exclusive relationship. Not my cup of tea. I don't share my partner, but there are plenty of people out there who wouldn't have a problem with that. I did it once for a year, and it was not a good time for me. I wouldn't be interested in such a thing again. Depends on what you want. Casual fling? Sure. Something serious? That's a no from me. No thank you. No thanks. It's one of my biggest deal breakers. Not interested. I'm 100% monogamous and wouldn't date someone who isn't. Absolutely not. No. Under no circumstances would I even dream of entertaining the idea of dating someone in an open relationship, not even for a hookup. Hard no. Personally speaking, I have no interest in sharing my partner, and I'm overall extremely skeptical of open relationships in general. A friend of mine, I'll call him Tom, met a woman about a year ago who's in a long-term open relationship and he completely fell for her. He said at the start that he was fine about her other partner and that they were always transparent about everything. But a year down the line he says he always feels second best. But whenever he starts to feel like he might be better off leaving the relationship, she tells him she's conflicted over her strong emotions towards him compared to the other guy. And because Tom cares about her so much he wants to believe she might end up staying with just him. I know I'm biased as his friend, but it seems to me that her trying to juggle the emotions of two serious partners has ended up not being honest at all. This is a very particular situation. I know polyamory can also work perfectly well. I wouldn't want to. It's not for me. I like to be monogamous. Sure. Works for me. Not my cup of tea. I don't judge what others do, but open relationships and polyamory is not something I've ever understood at all. Heck, managing a monogamous relationship is a lot of work and exhausting. I genuinely cannot comprehend throwing another opinion into the mix. Gotta be a no from me. I don't judge people who do, but in a combination of my own insecurities about romance and my anxieties about STI risks, the answer is a definitive no. I'm non-monogamous myself, and am only looking to date people who are also non-monogamous. That's one of the many minimum requirements I have for partners. I'm polyamorous and I refuse to date people who don't already identify as polyamorous as well. I'm in an open relationship so yes, but only casual dating. I don't have interest in multiple serious partners. I won't. If I'm dating someone, I'm dating to marry, and I can't marry someone who is already married / seeing someone else. Would rather die first. It's not for me. I don't want to share a partner. Nope. That's one straight ticket to an STD. Serious relationship? No. Short fling? Probably also no. Hook up once in a while? HMN. Would have to meet / talk to the partner of the guy to really know if the partner is okay with it, that he isn't cheating. I would like to be exclusive with only one. I'm non-monogamous and in a serious relationship, so I would only date other people open to ethical non-monogamy. I think it really depends on what you see the relationship looking like and whether you are comfortable with those dynamics. Obviously, many people are not interested for a variety of reasons, but I think it has the potential to be lovely. You can check out the polyamory subreddit to see more people's experiences. My take is that on one hand it has a chance to majorly blow up in everyone's faces, but what relationship doesn't? It is a bit riskier for the established relationships to be destabilized, although those relationships also can hold privilege, and in some ways it can be more difficult for the newer partner. But it can also remove a lot of the weirdness of monogamous relationships. Depending on agreed boundaries, you may no longer feel guilty for finding people attractive or flirting. It can add some scheduling stress, but also it can be wonderful for allowing flexibility if you want alone time or don't have too much time to devote to the relationship. You are not responsible for all your partner's relationship needs. If you aren't getting all you need from that person, or just are interested in different activities, You have the freedom to start another relationship with someone else who could. It really all just depends on how you view the world and relationships. I personally don't like the restrictiveness of monogamy. I can't imagine ending a years-long partnership because the person I love was sexual with someone else. The problem is lying, and that I won't accept in any relationship dynamic. Instead, if it is agreed upon as okay, it's just high fives. You need to look out for yourself and make sure you aren't just trying this dynamic because you like the person. Even though deep in your heart them being with someone else is harmful to your emotional well-being though. I'm a very monogamous person who for a while was dating an ethically polyamorous person. He had multiple partners and people he was dating, including myself. At the time, I was also going on dates with many other people. We mostly kept seeing each other because we both enjoyed each other's company so much. I didn't mind as I didn't feel any sort of romantic love for him, and we were dating him frequently. Also, he was honest and upfront from the get-go. Eventually, I went out with a man I wanted to pursue a monogamous relationship with, at which point I conveyed that the dates with the polyamorous man would stop. Instead, we made the extremely easy transition to good friends. He and my boyfriend are basically in a bromance these days, and I've met some of his many amazing and incredible partners as well. I wouldn't be happy to be dating them. I would be thinking, are they really in love with me? I've done it in the past. I tried out a poly relationship, and I got to say it was an interesting one. I knew of the other women he was dating, and I've met with them multiple times. Still very good friends with them. The only downside was my insecurity and jealousy. I ended up breaking it off after a few months, and explained that I couldn't fully wrap my head around him being intimate with other women. I wouldn't do it even for a casual fling. I'm not okay with the idea that my relationship with someone has rules and expectations set in place by someone else's relationship. And if I was looking for something serious, definitely not, because I'm not interested in being in an open relationship. I'm strictly monogamous myself and expect the same from my partner. We started as FWB, and since at the time my feelings for him were barely developing, I gave him the option of an open relationship, but he opted for exclusivity, and I'm so glad he did, because it let me fall for him completely. I would have been stoic had he decided to have it be open, and we wouldn't be in a committed relationship now. I wouldn't be dating them at all. I'd only date to be married, and I'd never be okay with sharing my partner, nor seeing someone else while he's around. Also, I always see stories here where the male partner bullies the woman into having an open relationship, only to be unhappy when she finds other partners and he doesn't. I'm not settling for someone like that. I don't think I could emotionally handle that. Too many moving pieces. Honestly, if I liked their company /sex, but didn't really see them as anything more, I would casually date them, and then when things started to fizzle out just kind of end it. I don't see a problem with it, but overall I'm also monogamous, so I wouldn't pursue someone really seriously if they were in an open relationship. I would be honest about that too. That's a big no for me. I tend not to find people attractive or attractive enough to have sex with until I've got to know them and have developed an emotional connection. To be the third party in a non-monogamous relationship would be a super highway to heartbreak for me. Team monogamy here. If they aren't the same, they aren't the right person for me. I think it would have to depend on what definition that fell under. I would be open to the concept of polyamory, but a relationship where my partner has hookups and flings consistently may be a bit much for me. A lot of open communication and trust would be required, but I wouldn't call it a firm line. If my partner wanted to discuss it, I wouldn't do it. I have OCD level fear of STDs and have never been able to have sex due to that. They'd be better off to find a partner that is more compatible. Is dating someone else in an open relationship even allowed? I thought that would make it a poly relationship. But what do I know? 2 years ago I turned someone down because of this. I might be interested in a poly relationship one day, but it would have to include everyone involved. I won't. If I were to date someone, I'd date with the intention of marriage. I can't ever see myself being with a person who's already married or seeing someone else. I would first and foremost want proof that they are in a healthy open relationship, whatever format that comes in terms of long-term dating. I think unless it was very specific people that it just worked with, I lean too much towards monogamy for it to work. But for a short-term / more casual / exploratory thing, sure. Completely understand that this could be very off-putting to the person who's interested in me though. Dating? Nah. Hookup? Sure. Never have, but would be up to giving it a shot. Would I be okay if they expected me to be monogamous while they slept with other people? Absolutely not. What's the point of being in an open relationship if I can't be open to other partners? How does that kind of relationship benefit me more than a monogamous one? Answer: it doesn't. It's extremely irresponsible. Do those people get tested every single time they hook up with a new partner? Do their partners do the same? It could very easily and exponentially become a serious health issue. Also, I know I'm picky just kissing, let alone sex. I don't know why or who they have the energy to give themselves to so many people. It would require so much energy to teach each new person what individual wants / needs. I only know one person that had a rep of being good in bed who slept around, and he ended up with nasty infection from sleeping with a someone, which ended him being able to sleep around because everyone heard he was dirty. There's a big difference between being able to fulfill a kink or desire and just being flat out irresponsible. If it's discussed before we start dating, that's fine. I'd also like to discuss it with their other partner because people lie about that shit all the time. I'm a weird person. I'd date a guy who was single and open to non-monogamy, but I would never date a non-monogamous guy who already had partners. I've also asked previous boyfriends to open up the relationship, kind of knowing subconsciously that they'd have a hard time screwing anyone else long term. I guess I'm more monogamous than I'd like to admit, or I just enjoy being the woman. But that's hard to finagle unless you're dating men who aren't hot stuff on the dating scene. I guess there are men I like being partnered to and men I like screwing, and they so rarely overlap. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.